Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurni Huda binti Muhammad Amin from class GEC 2202B. Today, me and my group members will present about the effect of market equilibrium during this pandemic COVID-19. On 18 March 2020, the government announced the Movement Control Order (MCO) to all states to prevent the spreadness of COVID-19 due to the increased cases in Malaysia. This includes many industries from government and private sectors to close their operation. Due to the announcement, many people started the panic situation, making them start to panic buying. This will make the certain product in the market to be increased in demand. The effect of this product or industry can be shown in the market equilibrium diagram that we are going to explain. Firstly, the price of face masks increasing. During the pandemic COVID-19, many people want to buy face masks to protect themselves from the disease. Due to the high demand of face masks, many pharmacies and shops that selling the face masks are always out of stock. This affects the supply for face masks in March 2020 to decrease. Thus, the supply will shift to the leftward from S0 to S1, causing the increase of price from P0 to P1, and the quantity will also decrease from Q0 to Q1, and the new equilibrium will change from E0 to E1. When the demand for face masks increasing, the shortage happens when the quantity demanded is greater than the quantity supplied for face masks. In this situation, it causes the producer or seller to sell at higher price and provide consumers to pay at a higher price. To prevent this situation, government will intervene and set up the price ceiling to protect the consumer's right, meaning that government will set the price to go lower than the equilibrium price, and this will prevent the producer or seller from selling the price higher than the price government imposed. Next.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Arifah binti Kamarul Bahrain and my metric number is 2020837334. Okay, today I would like to explain about the fuel prices crash in April 2020 as well as disinfectant and hygienic products due to the pandemic COVID-19. Okay, next slide. Okay, on this slide, as we can see, there is three difference of fuel prices, and the price is slightly dropped from between March and April 2020. Okay, fuel prices crashed in April 2020 due to the pandemic COVID-19. Okay, first point, decrease in demand due to the continued decline in global crude oil prices following the global economic uncertainty caused by the COVID-19. Okay, due to the lockdown regulations and stay-at-home order by the government to prevent the COVID-19, so this has bring the uncertainty of the oil and gas market. So now point number two, the demand curve will shift to the leftward as it decreases, and equilibrium price and quantity will reduce towards a new equilibrium level from P0 to P1 and Q0 to Q1 respectively. Okay. Okay, disinfect and hygienic products due to the pandemic COVID-19. Point number one, demand increase in the disinfect and hygienic products due to the pandemic COVID-19 while supplies increase due to the increase in number of supplies. Okay, the demand increase just because um, there is awareness among the consumer in the wake of the COVID-19 as the supply is increased just because there's a lot of suppliers will take this opportunity to produce similar the high demand products such as disinfect and hygienic products. And point number two, both demand and supply curve will shift to the rightwards as it is increased. And point number three, the equilibrium quantity increase from the Q0 to Q1. Meanwhile, the equilibrium price is unchanged P0. So the new equilibrium level is E1. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is NurFazrina binti Zulkhairi. I'm going to proceed with the fourth question, which is the communication and IT equipment. Basically the communication and IT equipment. What happened to the market equilibrium during this COVID-19? During the COVID-19, the demand for communication and IT equipment increased. So when the demand for it increase, of course the demand curve will shift to the right. Why the demand is increased? Because we all know that during COVID-19, basically so many industries, so many university, college affected by it. So of course, people like student, employee that affected need to work from home, and I think 100% of student right now are study from home and do online learning. So if we have to do online learning, so of course the very important thing right now is the communication and IT equipment, such as handphone, a laptop, and then we have to use Wi-Fi, data, and everything related to the IT and communication. So of course, due to COVID-19 right now, everyone use it. Everything, even school, secondary school, primary school also need to do online classes. So of course, the demand for it will be increased. Okay, for example, laptop. I use the nearest example. Before this, I went to survey for a new laptop, and I found that so many students also survey for the laptop, and it shows that the demand for the laptop is very high right now, because we both know that we all know that the laptop is very important and easier for us to do assignment, Google Meet, and then uh, sorry, to watch the video from the Google Classroom. Okay, so if the demand curve shift to the right, of course the price also will be different, which is maybe before this the price for the laptop, for example, 4,000, so it will increase to 6,000. And when I'm surveying for the laptop, I'm quite surprised with the price, because I found out that the price for the laptop is a little bit pricey than before the COVID-19 situation happened. And before this, I saw the same laptop with the same specification, maybe like range of 1.8 to 2,000. But that time when I'm survey, about a few weeks ago, I found out the price of the laptop has increased, from 2.5 to 3,000 with the same specification. So it shows that the price of the laptop increased during this COVID-19. And then, of course, if the price increase, the quantity will also be increased. Maybe before this supply year for this 5 unit, but due to the increase, and if they produce more, they will sell the product, the customer willing to buy, so they produce 10 units of laptop. So for communication and IT equipment, there are changes in the demand curve. So the demand for it is increasing right now. So that's all for the communication and IT equipment.
Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NurFazrina Murni binti Muhammad Rasli. I would like to proceed with the last question, which is home fitness equipment. So let's start. So the diagram is from global dumbbell market, which is show the impact of COVID-19. So the market will have negative impact due to the spread of COVID-19, and the market growth in this year likely to decrease compared to the last year. So let's see the diagram. The diagram shows the COVID-19 pandemic has affected the equilibrium of increase in the demand and decrease in supply of fitness equipment. The demand curve shows shift to right word from D to D1. This right word, okay, because it increase. Right word from D to D1. Why? Why it decrease from D to D1? It is because pandemic COVID-19. Before pandemic COVID-19, home fitness equipment do not get any response from customer. It is because more people would like to go to the gym and do workout or exercise there. At the gym, they have all fitness equipment to fulfill their customer, but after all around the world have affected by pandemic COVID-19, our Prime Minister or our government announced movement control order, which is stand for MCO. Everybody must stay at home and some of people must work at home. For those who always went to the gym, they cannot go. So because of that, they build their own gym and buy the home fitness equipment, such as dumbbell and air bike, a tread, and other than that. In contrast, the cost of production also increase. That's why it will affect to supply of home fitness equipment to the left, right. That means the supply is related to our to cost of production. That's why the supply curve shift to the left because the increase in production. Therefore, the equilibrium price increased from a P to P1. P to P1. Why? The equilibrium quantity will remain unchanged. That means no increase or decrease in quantity of home fitness equipment. In the conclusion, the market equilibrium is achieved when quantity demand is equal to quantity supply. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, now for the conclusion. So for the conclusion, the first one is the current situation related to changes in market equilibrium, and then the changes is either changes in supply curve or changes in demand curve. So of course, market equilibrium, the changes is affected by what situation happen right now, what situation occur at that time. For example, COVID-19 affected so many industries, different kind of industry. So of course, there are some of industry going bigger during this COVID-19, and some industries suffer a lot of losses and maybe lead them to shut down their company. So of course, it will affect their market equilibrium. And then from the market equilibrium, we can determine the surplus and the shortage, which is the surplus is when the quantity supply is more than demand, is greater than the demand, greater than the quantity demand. Where, for example, they produce a lot of stock, but the demand for it is very low. People don't want to buy it. So of course, what they can do, maybe they can decrease or cut down the price for the product, or maybe they can do the buy one free one thing, so that they still can sell the product rather than they did not sell anything, so they still gain something. And then for the shortage, is when the demand is greater than supply. So the producer produce stock, there is not enough with the demand right now. I mean, with what customer want right now. There's a lot of customer wants it, but the stock is very limited. So of course, what can they do? They have to figure out what can they do. Of course, normally the producer or supplier will increase their price, because they know when the demand is increased and the stock is not enough to support the demand, people will fight with each other to buy it. I mean, they will willing to buy, even the product is pricey, they're willing to buy. For example, laptop. Even the laptop right now is very pricey, but people are willing to buy because they need to have it. They need to use it. It's an important thing right now because the demand is very high right now. So that is